I wanted to create a horror opening which includes the aspects of a psychological horror and children. So from this, I knew that I needed to think of some ideas where I could use a child and it would be effective. I decided to use my younger sister as it would be effective as it goes against typical horror conventions and it shows that children are not always innocent and vulnerable. Within my opening, I wanted to make my sister look as innocent and vulnerable as possible, but I still wanted to show the audience that she was as dangerous as any other typical horror villains. So to do this, I made her wear a blue girly dress that had fake blood smeared all over it to show the contrast between good and evil. The dress she was wearing had similarities to what young girls from Victorian era would wear, which I feel shows the helplessness and vulnerability of my sister, as young girls within the era were seen as weak and inferior to men, as with horror movies. I also made her wear her hair in ponytails, which represented how young my sister was, which would make the audience feel uncomfortable whilst watching. The house that I was filming in is normally seen as somewhere safe, and you don't usually expect bad things to happen whilst in a house. However, with the presence of this young girl who my sister was playing, I feel like it makes the house feel chilling and daunting to live in, which is opposite of what you would expect, considering the fact that she's just a little girl. This is effective as it once again shows to the audience how I have broken typical stereotypes of young children and made them to be the main factor of horror and distress. In my own horror opening, I used myself as a character that played a teenager who had just moved into a new house. I feel like having teenager within my opening display typical horror conventions, as teenagers are often seen as targets or villains in many horror films. At first, my character displays signs of happiness and enthusiasm, but further into the horror opening, you can see that my character is uncomfortable and scared by the aspects of a child haunting her and the house she's just moved into. My character is wearing a white top to show her innocence towards what's happening, and red trousers to connote danger to the audience. With my younger sister's character haunting my character, it opposes typical stereotypes, as you would expect my character to be more superior due to her age, but in fact it's the other way around. Although this goes against typical stereotypes, it's quite common in a lot of psychological horror movies that uses children. For example, Insidious, The Woman in Black and The Conjuring, etc., where the children are the main factor who brings the scariness to the film.